certain things.
I'm really sorry because Facebook is unforgiving. If we miss it by even a minute, they just blank the whole thing. And it was down to the last 8 seconds. Hi, everybody, and welcome back. We haven't done one of these in quite a while. This is Review and Rewind Netflix. We're going to be showing off The Haunted from Latin America. It is a much more raw, much more gritty, and far more amazing series than the one that we have in the United States. I do apologize for the fact that you will be reading subtitles. They didn't translate it and dub it, but it's better this way because you're going to hear the emotion of the people who've done this in their own voices. There's only 5 episodes so far. They were set to do more, but because of COVID, more didn't happen. So I'm kind of glad we saved it until now. Joel hasn't seen it, but I have seen the whole series, so you're going to see his raw reactions as we watch it together. Now, I'm going to give you a countdown, so if you're watching it at home at any given time, when I say go, that's when I'm going to hit the button for us to be watching it from the very beginning on Netflix. So whatever you do, oh goodness, whatever you do, don't let it get out of sync. And as usual, it's trying to fight me. All right. So I just want to make sure, Joel, you heard that baton.
Yeah, should I turn my lights up?
Probably, because it's hard to see you.
Okay,
all right,
give
everybody.
me 1 second. I'll do that right now.
So this is going to be about a 27-minute long show. Hopefully, we will be able to give you comments live.
Shut up, bro.
Now, the episode we're watching is The Devil Dances Before Easter. It is, I believe, one of the better tales of caution for children who are gifted, and especially for people who are watching over gifted children. They're just as precocious as any other child, and keep a better eye on them than you would any of your other children, because they have twice as many things that they could get up to. In any case, Joel and I are about to start and watch the show. So let me give us a little spread out here. And 3, 2, 1, hit it. Okay, so now we're going to watch from the very beginning. Una serie original de Netflix. Well, maybe not the devil exactly, but one of his buddies. Seriously, the first time I saw this, the first thing that came to mind was it's the Gamork and it's after you. Run, Atreyu, run. Not trying to be funny, just it really looks like the Gamork. I think what hits home the hardest is, though my grandmother wasn't like this, his grandmother looked an awful lot like mine because, Cuban.
There's a box in the top right corner. He was so cute.
Especially the outfits they dressed him in, although I think he'd probably be a little bit embarrassed to show those off. So, he's from Colombia.
It's funny. He kind of has that look about him that when I first met you kind of had at times.
Did it suddenly go dark?
Yeah, it did.
Well, what do you know? Have to pop back out and go back in again. It doesn't like to play nice. Yeah, it's gone dark. Hold on. I'll stop sharing and then reshare. Oh, for crying out loud. You know what? I'm just going to restart the whole program, and we'll get it from there. That's really odd. I have no idea why it's doing that, too.
Odd things usually happens when we do some of these videos.
I think it's something out there that just doesn't want the lesson to come across. Especially since you said that thing. You said the guy had the same look as I had when you first met me. That long-suffering Christ. I've been through everything.
Yeah.
You know,
That little
and
kid, as the little kid that was playing him, had that look about him. I was like, I know that look. That's the same look I saw in Sean when I went to his house a couple times.
All right, so screen share. Let's do this again. Okay, and there we go. No, now it's fighting us real hard. That is really something. Well, this is weird. Okay. Why in the world is it? I'm sorry, folks. We're having technical difficulties. This was working just fine before.
Yeah, it was working fine for a good while there. I'm sorry if I look rough. In my last few days of quarantine from a second infection of COVID.
Maybe if I could put it into. This is weird. This is so weird. All we're trying to do is watch this thing, and it's just trying to block me the whole way. It shouldn't, because it's just you and me watching, and we're not sharing with anybody else.
Yeah.
That would be against the rules. It just goes to show you follow the rules and you still get busted. Okay, so let's see. It keeps. They're still blackening the screen. This doesn't make sense. It was not doing this before.
I could.
The only other way to do this is if you pull it up and we'll watch it simultaneously.
I think that's what we'll do. All right. Let me get to that.
All right, so just gonna quit zoom out the background. So once you pull it up, I'll give you the time index. One thing's for certain: if you watch the intro as the kid's coming in, and you see Emmanuel Cifuentes at 1:41, 22 seconds, 25 seconds when he looks up. I remember that look in my eyes too, because when you reminded when you talked about it, that's the look of utter defeat.
Yeah. Whew. Okay, that was loud. I'm definitely gonna have to turn that down.
Okay, so for everybody who's following along, I'm going to give you a countdown so it starts at 2 minutes and 32 seconds, 31 seconds, so that we can continue together. Probably should have done this from the get-go, but it was working before. I don't know why Netflix doesn't want Joel and I to watch together, so just let me know when you got it to 2:31, and then I'll give you the countdown.
Okay.
Ready?
I am just about said 2:31.
I believe that's where I got it. 2:31 or 2:32.
I have it at 2:31. Let me fix the volume level on this so it's not over. Okay.
Okay, so are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1, hit it. So she's descended from the Romani spiritual people. What he really said there was that she learned from an early age how to do divinations, how to purify. Rituals of all types.
I would not wonder how they got to keep a little boy in that room with all that stuff in there.
Now here comes the really scary stuff. Forget the local priest, come to her, and the bad things get, oh. Now the poor boy is terrified of what he's exposed to, because up to this point he had probably no idea that the job his grandmother was doing was so damn dangerous.
Not only that, but he has no context of what's going on yet.
He said, for nothing in the world should you leave the house.
Hell no.
And considering the part of the world that he's in, he isn't listening. Said heed that it's Good Friday. The translation is meh. Sometimes it's not exact.
I find that with a lot of translations.
Didn't say anything about don't dare. It says, please don't go out. Now, here's where things get oh so bad. I mean, you don't really need me to tell you that this kid's going to be a kid, like I was a kid when I was a kid. But what happens on the way out? Watch. Super quiet is what he said, or super softly if you want a direct translation. Look at the icon. Look at the icon. And boom.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
Not only did he escape, but that which was protecting the way into the house is gone. And as anybody who knows anything about this kind of thing can tell you, that is a really bad thing. Ugh. So he's out. The kids aren't out there. He's now just running wild, hoping to find something to do. Well, guess what he finds to do? One of the things I dislike about when they put a filter on a daylight thing like this is you can't see an aura for anything. He didn't say easy. He said be still, tranquilo. He didn't say he kneeled. He said he bent over. He said, basically right there, he said, I continued walking and I felt something, staring at me intently. He said, turned around and I saw a dog that was really, really big. Not a huge dog.
Bruh.
Ouch. He said with brilliant red eyes, not with bright red eyes. No. No. Look, I'm under a light. I'm safe. Nope. Boy, I found it early, too. Found out when I was 5, daylight doesn't save you from jack. Between you and me, you know that this thing is just toying with him.
Oh yeah. Got to get the fear level up before it feeds.
Judas Priest. Like he was radioactive to see if anything had had access, and grabbed a hold of a mark on his clothing. Now she's anointing him with oil to try and cleanse him.
Yeah. I know what's going on. I don't need to play-by-play.
Oh, the connection didn't drop. She only obscured it. Yeah, let's see what happens tomorrow.
You know he didn't sleep. Unless he passed out from exhaustion.
I'm sure exhaustion was the word. And he's got dirt all over him. See? The mark.
Oh my gosh.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Eek.
Ugh.
Ugh. I was lucky. My grandfather couldn't get near the house because of him. The thing that followed me. He said I didn't know the gravity of the situation. No. See, now he's going walking in his sleep, and he's getting nailed. That look familiar, Joel?
Yeah.
Looks less like the devil and more like Dracula from Castlevania there, but
I wish you had waited for me to say that later. I was waiting for the show to end so I could say that looked like Dracula. Thank you for the spoiler.
Sorry. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Nah, fam.
The grandmother's just outmatched.
Well, it'll be good for Abuela to know that he broke the protection of the window. I'm sure she doesn't know that.
That's part of the reason why all this is going on.
Yeah. The other thing is I'm sure cleaning up the house, like maybe she would have noticed it. But then again, if something didn't want her to notice it, it would have been like a foggy memory or just, yeah.
I
Kinda
love
like-
that. Oh yeah, we're always making shit up. Yeah, Dad. Oh, always. Drink a little what? You giving him some coffee? What the hell's that? Is this water? Whoa! Drac just took a step back. Yeah, are we making that shit up now, Dad?
Who's that dude? Who's the old guy?
That's the father.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought. And who was the older lady? Is that his mom?
I believe so. Because his grandmother's dead now.
Yeah. Her posture shows like that's like a posture of disbelief. It's either disbelief or she trying not to admit that that's what could be going on.
Oh boy.
Nope. Deuces. Finding a new church. I'm out,
Oh,
son.
and bloody nose. Familiar?
Yeah, no, I'm out, man. I'm out.
Number of times waking up from getting scratched up and having one of those.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this was the one I knew you were going to be getting tons of flashbacks and just like remember the bad old days. And
You remember when I told you I smelled tilled earth? I told you about that, right?
uh-huh.
My old house. And then on 115th Street, it had the same thing happen. Oh, hell no. Hell. What the fuck? How you just. Shit.
It's not under the bed anymore.
Nah, son. It would not have taken me that long to close the door if I seen that.
Yep.
What I say? What I said when it was chasing him. Got to get that fear up. Got to get that fear up before it eats.
That is a friend of his.
Yeah, I saw that. I just didn't catch the other two.
Yes, everywhere.
Yeah. I say that shit all
There
the
it is.
time. I say it
And
all the
there it
time.
is. Yeah, there we go. You have to embrace it.
Yeah.
There it is. And the lesson is learned. See, that's why I thought you'd love this episode.
I have that whole dialogue towards the end. I say that shit all the time. Look, people always ask me, like, why do you have so much crazy, weird ass knowledge about all these things? It's because.
And there it is to replace the one.
At least if I know, if you know what's going on, you know what you're dealing with. If you have all that random knowledge about all this other stuff, lores and stuff, it gives you a good idea of what's going on, so you can be prepared for it.
Yes. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Boy, I wish my mom was like that. That would have been good.
I'm glad that my mom was that way. She let me go ahead and explore.
It just goes to show your mom wasn't just awesome at cooking.
We'll get to that.
Beat it. No. That's the difference between us. He's willing to take a tie. I'm not going to accept a tie. I'm ready to fight, and I won't accept second place.
Well, it's not so much that
Oh, his dad
Oh,
died. Forgot about
what?
that.
Fuck.
Okay, so we can shut that off.
I'm not too concerned about, like, I don't see it as in that light, tie or anything. I don't look at it as like a tie. If I don't have the means to totally deal with it, I will like dissipate it, which usually is not the case. I've never had that be the case. But if I cannot dissipate it, I have learned to contain it until I can figure out how to dissipate it. And usually I call you if I need that much help. Or by the time it doesn't usually take me that long. Once I start figuring out what it is, and it just kind of falls into place, which is my stick. Yeah, let's so I guess that look on mom's face was more of a, because I mean mom was involved in a lot of that, and I'm sure it was kind of like uh the matriarch passing things down. God, you know what? Look, I don't care what anybody say. God bless the matriarch, because the food. You know, we're talking about cooking and stuff. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that in ancestors. The longer I live, the more I'm figuring out that all these recipes that my mom and grandmother have passed down are kind of like, I guess you could say, hoodoo.
Yeah.
All that stuff is how my ancestors and a lot of Southern people ancestors, the slaves, were taught for protection. That's why we eat those foods. That's why, like I tell you, we had mixed greens and black eyed peas for New Year's. Hoodoo. I, some of that stuff, that's what that is. Like some of the spices and stuff like that, that's to help your body and your spirit and to help keep you well. That's why they cook those things. And that knowledge, I think we're losing that knowledge the further along that we go. We do these things out of rituals, but we don't know exactly why we do them out of rituals, because they weren't passed down. I wish in my adult life, my mother dear, my mom's grandmother was around so she could teach me. But I know, like, she kept me under her wing, and I know, like, because I was a runt. I was the scrawny one. I was the scrawny one out of the grandkids. And she always, everybody, my cousins, I love my cousins. But I think a couple of them were upset because, like, whenever I was in town, like, Mother Dear used to always make sure I got, like, whatever she didn't eat. She always felt like she had to feed me. I don't necessarily know if it was because I was scrawny, but I was always in the kitchen when she was cooking and stuff. And, like, the hot water cornbread, all that she used to eat for breakfast and stuff. I used to get all that, like, hot links in the morning. And I get all that. And I think in a lot of ways, like, the Latin American culture has a lot of that same kind of thing. I know I digressed on that one. Sorry.
Well, keep in mind, on the Cuban side of my family, we have 5 commonalities. We have 2 Hispanic relations, 2 black relations, and 1 Chinese. So we have this huge complex of stuff. Catholicism with animism, with Taoism from China.
So yeah, so you, like, the whole thing, especially about food and about New Year stuff and, like, certain things like moon cakes and stuff on a New Year, protection, prosperity, that kind of stuff. I hope our viewers are like, actually, like, listen to this. Like, this is some of the stuff that we should I hope you listen to this. This is some of the things like my ancestors are teaching me along the way. And as I watch these shows, I realize what's going on. Dumplings are like coins, like some of the dumplings, the moon cakes and stuff. Pretty sure those represent coins. It's for the New Year's. That's what you want for prosperity. That's why they give them.
And we also have
Man,
another New Year's coming up. I'm lucky in my family because we celebrate both. Because the Chinese side of my family, that I get through my father's side of the family, or I should say my grandfather's side of the family.
hell yes. So yeah, let's talk about some of this stuff. Okay, so when the weather says stay your ass in, stay your ass in. I can't.
It's when the wise person says don't do something, there literally is a reason for it. I have to say, I listened to my elders every time they spoke. Now, I may have been uh, adventuresome and go places when I shouldn't have gone places, but I'll tell you for a fact that it was not any of my proclivities to go and explore that got me into trouble ever. I learned very late in my life. The reason why is because Aramid was always right there dogging my trail to make sure that stuff didn't chase after me or that I could handle stuff. But when I did get into trouble, it was stuff that was out of my control because my grandmother and my family said things and my mother didn't listen. No, if ever you guys notice, this never gets off me. Never. This is never gone. Same thing with the kids. My mother stripped us of the of our protections that we were given, that were created by the Santeria side of the family. That was in order to keep us safe, and that was the reason why I got chased. And the only person who had any inkling of what was going on was my grandfather, and he knew that everything was fine so long as I was near him. So when the old people talk, listen.
Yo, and like this, some of this knowledge is just dying out. So thank goodness for the clock app, because I've seen a lot of stuff in there where a lot of this old knowledge is being passed, that has been passed down, is being redisseminated through that. But you got to be careful when you are looking at it, because some people like to give out that information without warnings, context. People aren't looking up, aren't trying to decide, seeing why you should or why you shouldn't. Hell, I was actually watching something and it never did occur to me, like, my penchant for picking up stones and stuff, although it's beneficial, I should be careful about what I am using, because some of those things I might not be ready for that work. I might not be ready for that work and what that crystal is going to bring. I will bring it into my house and shit will be terminless for a while, but
see, I'm lucky. I don't have to worry about growing anything that does anything more than act snooty. Like, don't call me Basil, call me Basil. This last one that I planted wasn't snooty like that. It was just wonderful.
No, I got crystals that's just are like, hey, I'm glad I'm home now. So can we get started? And before I can say yes or no or know what's going on, things are in motion. I either gotta recognize and catch up or know what's about to happen. So yeah, there's important reasons why we clean our crystals and stuff. Even though you cleanse your crystals, sometimes you're not ready for that work that's about to happen. So make sure you store your stuff responsibly. All right, so yeah, let's talk more about this show. This episode. Oh man. Oh my god.
Flashbacks to waking up with scratches, scrapes, bruises, bites, contusions, boils,
Bloody noses.
Bloody noses. Oh yeah, that was my favorite. It's like gusher.
God, dog. Bloody noses for no reason.
Yeah, just walking around, all of a sudden got this strange sensation right here, like something's around you. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah. Like if
now, keep in mind before anybody says that, oh, the air must have been dry. The air must have been dry within 20 miles of the ocean in No, The air never gets dry.
Not
there,
that dry.
unless the Santa Ana winds are blowing. And even then, it's not that dry. I mean, it's normally like 50-60% all the time, 70 degrees, moist as hell. It's very rare to have a day where you have to worry about your lips chapping in Los Angeles. Please. And we live closer to the ocean because we were Lenox, Inglewood, go to school in Hawthorne.
Torrance.
Where the
Yeah.
Beach
We
Boys
was
are from. Come on.
right off El Segundo Boulevard. It's not that far.
I could walk to the beach, Imperial Beach, right down from where I live, right under the LAX flight path. Trust me, there's nothing but moisture in the air, so you can't go. Your nose was dry.
I just remember skateboarding to the beach. So, man, like I feel for Kat because that would be terrifying. Like a half rotting. We'll just call it a zombie dog. I know that's not what it is, but we could call it that. That's the image that they give us. They give us that image with the jaw dislocated. So let's talk about that. The whole fair thing, like that's gonna happen. I hate to say it as much as you. The only way that's not gonna happen is if you have worked with rituals and you have, which is why you do rituals. It's
over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
And then because that helps. And then it's just like martial arts. The more you do it, it helps bring you into that calm during that situation to help control that fear. The other thing, man, like that's so things that hunt when you run, that's when they give chase. Yeah.
Oh, they love it.
And that fear, like I know like walking away from it is one thing, but that fear that he was experiencing, that he ran from, and he said it does those things. Like it will sit in the back where you can barely see, or you can catch like glimpses of it, so you can be scared. That way your fear can raise. And those things like that feed off of negative energy, that's what they want. They want that fear to escalate, because that's that energy that they get. It's not just fear. Some things feed off of high emotional content, which is why children's and teens are like usually targeted at that age for the first time.
It's for their emotional exuberance. They exude so much of it
because they have that much, because of the hormonal change and stuff. They have like a lot of emotional instability, and they want that up. And once they get that in, they can mark that person, then they can continue to feed off that person. It's not necessarily that they're going to want to end you at the time. Why would you do that when you can feed off of that for several years to come down? It makes sense. It's sustainable farming. Let's call it that. But I imagine they must know when you're going to hit that peak and they're not going to be any more useful. So you have to be aware of that. But yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's coming with like that was one of the things that if you read up on vampire lore, YRE, not IRE, you do know that that's how they feed off that raw emotion, and they want that emotion to be up. So any kind of raw emotion that a person has, be it fear, lust, joy, I mean, it could be a lot.
Depends on the flavor that what the entity savors, whichever one that it finds the most appealing.
Yeah.
The point is to deny them. It's like Leonidas said, take from them everything, deny them everything.
And that's why being centered and learning how to ground and center is so important. I hope you guys are listening to that. Grounding and centering. That's why it's important, because you want to be centered. I'm not saying that you can't be an emotional creature, because everybody's an emotional entity, but you should be careful about it. And that's why everybody who is sensitive, everybody who is not sensitive, should make it a practice to ground and center themselves every day, or at least once a week.
Which reminds me, we still need to do the. Remember, we planned on doing the meditation video. I got asked about that. We still have to redo that one. That was one that we had in the can, but never. I wasn't, because of the way that it was shot. I wasn't able to do it. So we're gonna have to do that one probably next week.
Okay. Okay. Hold on.
We can do that one live.
Sorry about that. Wow.
So if you notice that the iconography that the lady was using, most of it was a mishmash of the different cultures, including using saints, etc., anima, and oils and things like that. Catholicism, with as they even said, gypsy style of divination, etc. So it was, they took from everything that they could use. The thing was that you could tell grandma was probably at the end of her strength. She was. There's a point at which you start not being able to be as effective, because this world is starting to be pulled away from you, and you have to pass your knowledge down. Before people die, one of the things I've noticed is that their auras become clear, like their attachment to this world is fading. In some cases, like with you know that they're going to return, you can see their auras get really, really strong before they burn out, and they don't get totally clear. But for the most part, they clear out as they get ready to move on, because they're going to be returning in another body.
So my next question is have you ever seen somebody who is progressing and they get brighter or more vibrant instead of clear?
Yes.
I'm sure like
Yes.
what you're
I have.
saying is that's like
That's the only one person I've seen that's done
standard.
that. So I'm pretty sure if we're talking about spirituality, where someone's getting that's a spiritually strong person gets to the end, that they just stay strong right up until the moment that they clear out and then go. That's an indication of a person with a huge uh, reservoir of energy. But keep in mind, grandma in this one, she had to make do with a little bit of a lot of knowledge from different areas, but not a whole lot of specificity. So she wasn't able to bring a lot to bear.
Yeah.
So, which means that hopefully Emmanuel is going to explore it more, and he's going to have a broader set of tools. That's what you hope to leave to the next generation: is the stuff you've learned, the shortcuts you found, the greater depth of energy that you've discovered, so that they can tap into it. Because I can tell you, my eldest son he's 21. He's got way more access to more energy than I had at his age,
Yeah.
and so because I was dealing with more things at the time, and being hunted, and chased, that kind of thing.
Well, and not only that, but when you have spiritually active people in your household, the longer you're exposed to them, the more your vibrational rate will meet theirs. Um, which your kids are lucky because they have you, you know, and I'm I'm sure that just helps magnify it. And your roommate is is talented in a way. I don't
Yeah,
know if
that's making the
she.
clothes.
Well, I,
The stuff she puts into the clothes.
I was just about to say I don't know if she really knows how talented she is, how sensitive she is, but she's
I've told her several times, but she really there's explanation, and then there's understanding.
like I never said anything to her about that. I did. I just eh, that's where like the I guess there's a section in Black Elk Speaks where he talks about to two different braves, like how many horses they could find out, and one was told a much larger number than the other, and he said that the other person cannot see himself getting more than said number. That's why he said that number, where the other person has a better understanding about what he could do and the possibilities that are out there. So and it's almost the same way. But I don't think me and your roommate have ever really talked about that. We never approached that. That conversation has never come up. She never approached me about it, so I never brought it up.
Next time we play D&D, you're gonna have to sit there and explain it to her, because I don't think with all that I've told her, I've given her a full understanding of it, because I don't think I'm speaking the same language she needs to hear. Anyway, let's wrap this one up.
Yeah, one more thing. I would love to give her some silver thread so she can start imbuing some of her articles with silver and gold out.
So,
oh my God, could you imagine?
I definitely can, because I mean, you've seen what she did with the symbols on the,
I'm excited. I cannot wait for mine to be finished so I can have it on during one of the shows. Yeah, it's dope.
So, let's see. Thank you all for joining us. I don't have any rote way to be able to get this to extract this from this. Hopefully, we'll be able to do more of these as we've been doing them now, because you can see we're trying to keep to a one time per week schedule. It's going to be probably one of each type of video. We're going to rotate through, so it's like we're going to do the rewind and review. We're going to do educational stuff like I did on the ghosts, and hopefully next time we'll be able to do one on meditation, because I've been asked several times. So I think there's some kind of a synchronicity there, because people want to know about how to clear your mind, because we did that before. But we'll review it, and I'll also show you how I do my kind of meditation, because my version of meditation apparently is fairly famous, because there's a guy from Norway who does it too, and he thinks that it's the alchemy of life. And if you want to watch it on, I swear, it's just focusing. It's on Netflix, a goop called something to do with alchemy. Just the series isn't much. I mean, we're going to talk. Joel and I are going to go over this series together.
Is it the Midnight Gospel?
No, The Goop.
The Goop.
Gwyneth Paltrow's The Goop. You know.
Oh,
one
yeah,
makes
yeah.
The vampire blocking spray.
What?
We haven't. And then she has some guy who says, "Look, I touch your aura," and he literally is like diddling your aura around your rectum. Now Joel's doing that. You think I'm joking? Wait till we watch this one together. Trevor made me watch this. I'm still scarred. But there's this guy who says, it's the alchemy of life. It's just meditation. It's just literally, that's how I bring my temperature up. That's how I maintain my focus. It's how I'm able to do 1,200 punching exercises underwater with the blocks and go past my limit break. That's all.
This is my jingle.
By the way, that's everybody's favorite episode still. That is everybody who watches all the videos loves the one with Jankum.
Oh my
because
God.
When they get to the part where Joel says it's a shitty job, but somebody's got to do it, most paused and rewinded. I swear, I get to look at that. People are like, "Oh, nope, we're gonna go back and watch that again." Because what did Joel say?
I brought that up to some of my nursing friends, and they didn't believe me. And I told them that that's the smell of money. We could be collecting all this, and we could be making great money.
So that was wafting. Ooh, everybody loves their own brand. Eh?
Lasagna 2 days ago. Balsamic vinegar dressing.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really helps the algorithm, because it helps people find us, especially since we're talking about things that are germane. And if you have any personal questions or anything that you want to know, feel free to drop them on the channel, or you can send them to me directly via email or Joel. We also are on Facebook, where you can find us on Twitter. And if you want to find the videos in recast, we have them on Daily Motion and I can't remember the other place, but it's not really that important because those are only there when Travel Channel doesn't like us putting up reviews on their shows, and so they decide to block them. But they don't block them there. Shh, don't tell. Anyway, can't wait to see you guys again. Stay blessed until next time we meet.